Did you know that the main ingredient in a lot of cleaning products you find in supermarkets is simply water? Personally, I only learned this recently, and it's true that it's a bit absurd. So I decided to test an alternative for you called La Marque en Moins, which is only available online, and it claims to be completely transparent, as well as healthier products for people and the planet. So how does it work, and are they really effective? That's what I invite you to find out with me in this video. As you can see, I have a big box from Vosmois. That's simply because I ordered almost their entire range. I wanted to get an overall idea of what they have to offer. And for that reason, I'm going to test everything in 3 steps. First, I'll give you my first impressions for each product, then I'll try them out in real conditions for a week. Before giving you my verdict and telling you very clearly whether I plan to keep using them in the future or if I'll stick with the big brands. Let's start with the dishwasher tablets. As you can see, the packaging is really fun. See, minimalist. That's their choice, since their whole concept is to keep things as simple as possible and make them effective. So in this case, that's exactly what they've done. And it works through a subscription system where you can receive a new package every 2, 3, or 4 months directly in your mailbox. They always tell us the product's origins. In this case, they're made in Saint-Étienne. And then they explain why the products are healthy, why the planet is respected, the breakdown of the price, and they give us some usage tips. So indeed, they're really playing the transparency card. I think it's a very good thing, even if, let's be honest, it's also one of their marketing arguments. So let's open this together. Even though, as you can see, the box was deformed and half of the tablets fell into the big box, you just have to tear this part. Obviously, I can't do it on the first try, so it's 100% cardboard packaging, totally recyclable. And the tablets themselves are right here. And in terms of appearance, there's nothing special, they're just tablets. Very classic, knowing that the little packet covering them is there to protect them. It's water soluble and you don't throw it away. That's not always the case with the big brands. Some of them still offer individual packaging. Now, all that's left is for me to try them. So, regarding the doses for the dishwasher, honestly, as expected, it works very well and doesn't leave any marks on the glasses at all. So listen, for me, it's approved and I think I'm going to use all of them without any problem. But on the other hand, they're more expensive than the Finnish ones I was using until now. So I'm not sure I'll stick with the store brand, especially since I don't feel like there's a huge difference between these and the industrial ones. Afterwards, everyone does as they want. Now let's move on to this stain remover stick. I had tested a similar product, which was very effective with Bruno in my video about cleaning seats, except it wasn't vegan, unlike this one. So if this one is effective, that'll be a good thing. Knowing that it's made in France and 100% natural, and whether it's the appearance or the smell, it really reminds me of an olive oil-based soap. Now, whether it's really useful for removing this stain, that's another story. Well, for this one, I'll keep it short. For me, it was effective. And you can go for it with your eyes closed, knowing that, in my opinion, the sticks from the brand will be more than enough in most cases. Next, I have a set of microfiber cloths with different textures that are supposed to adapt to various situations. Here, we have a yellow one that's super smooth, which is supposed to be multi-purpose. This one has very fine mesh and will be used for windows. The red one, on the other hand, is meant for the kitchen. And finally, this one, with its more classic look, is meant for the bathroom. Knowing that QU specifies they can be washed up to 500 times with an average use over 2 years, and that they're more effective with the brand's cleaning products. On the downside, personally, at this point, I still don't know what they look like. In any case, it's true that the packaging is very simple, so am I going to be able to open this? Yes, okay, so this is really the starter kit. Obviously, we're not going to buy this. Each time here, we have the basic bottles, and then we'll just have to order the corresponding refills for the kitchen, the bathroom, the multi-surface, and the windows. And personally, I really like this solution, which is offered by many brands, since it saves us from buying bottles that are basically filled with water at the supermarket, which in the end only contain a few centiliters of active ingredients. In this case, the benefit is really undeniable. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to fill them up right now. So we have the sprayers, the 8 refills, since there are 2 in each pack, and the bottles themselves are just below. Well, they're made of plastic, but they seem relatively sturdy, and I really like the fact that there are no visible brands. To use them, you just need to fill them with water, take the corresponding refill, insert it, and attach the sprayer. And here, I have to admit that I'm having a bit of trouble understanding how this is going to work, since my active agents aren't in contact with the water. And it's very strange because I can't manage to screw this onto the neck. There is a hole in the middle that lets the tube through. So the solution must be really simple, but well, I'm just a regular user. I'm facing some difficulties. Ah, okay, it's good, I did it. The liquid just came out. You just had to push a little and now we get a nice color. Classic for window cleaners. Perfect. I'll try with the one for the kitchen. This one is bergamot scented. I insert it, attach my sprayer, and twist while pressing. Okay. Okay, there you go. You really have to use a bit of force, but in the end, it's not too complicated. Well, listen, it's all very nice, but now I need to check if they're really effective. If you want to learn more about their composition, I'll add links in the description. So I tested the cleaning products and the cloths at the same time, since that seemed logical for the latter. Honestly, I didn't find anything exceptional. They're like most microfiber cloths you can find in any supermarket. The only difference is that they have the same color code as the products they go with, so you can't go wrong. And they're made in France. But, well, is that enough to stand out from the competition? Honestly, whether you choose these or cheaper ones, I don't think it makes much difference. On the other hand, I can't say the same for the window cleaner. Honestly, it's exceptional. I think you can see it on my face in the different clips I'm going to show you. But every time I was shocked by the result. There was absolutely no difference and I didn't have to force it even once. Honestly, it's the best window cleaner I've ever tried so far. For me, it's completely approved and I absolutely recommend it to you. I also ordered their reusable paper towels, which are made in Annemasse. If you're from the area, I greet you, and I'm very curious to see how it's going to turn out. Since I'm a big user of this kind of product, and I've never bought ones like this before. It looks like a regular fabric. Here we have something important, it's embossed, and on the other side, it looks like a microfiber cloth. But what we're interested in is seeing if it easily and effectively absorbs liquids, so for that, I'll be able to test it right away. I'm going to pour 25 centiliters of water onto my countertop, and now I'm going to mop it up with my regular paper towel. Let's see how many sheets are needed. Okay, so here, clearly one sheet won't be enough. Plus, water is running off to the side, so I'll add 2 more sheets. Well, normally, yes, we do this with a sponge, but here I really wanted to test everything efficiently. Oh yeah, no, but this is a disaster. I don't know how many I'm gonna need. I think I was a bit ambitious. I could have gone for a simpler demonstration, but as you can see, it's relatively effective. All right, 2 more. I'm sorry, but I started an experiment. I can't start over, otherwise there will be even more waste. And now, as you can see, it's almost done. I'm having trouble getting the water out. Okay, well, perfect. Now we can say that most of it has been absorbed. I can dry it off, and now I'll see how it goes with the cloth towels. So here we go. I'm going to pour the same amount of water, so it's the equivalent of a large glass. And let's start mopping it up. Does it work? Why isn't it getting wet? Maybe it was the other side I was supposed to use. Okay, so now it's really soaked. But on the other hand, I'll be able to reuse it. As you can see, I have an emergency here. It's starting to leak, so I'll have to fix this as soon as possible. It's quite effective, I must say. Okay, second pass, I'm going to remove the water. Okay, 3 passes and we're good. I'll get what's here too. Well, listen, I don't know why I didn't buy this kind of product before, since it pays for itself quickly and avoids unnecessary waste. Second to last product, here we have a washable and reusable sponge. It's entirely handmade by an ISA in Marseille and it's supposed to last us for a year. Knowing that, unlike many regular reusable sponges, this one actually has 2 surfaces, one that's smoother and another one for scrubbing. So I'm going to test this and we'll see if it's effective. But I still want to point out that sponges like these are also reusable. You can easily put them in the dishwasher. Manufacturers mention it on their websites, but it's not always very visible. They don't really advertise it, since it's in their interest for you to throw them away regularly and buy new ones. We'll see which ones are the best. But it's true that these ones are particularly effective, so I have a hard time seeing how it's going to go. It can be reused a lot, it's very good, it's reused very well. Who on this promise
quoi que ce soit, mais le problème
was torn longer than a regular sponge. There! For once, I almost feel like setting it aside, not using it to preserve it, even though that's completely inconsistent with its purpose. So, as you can see, I'm not convinced and I don't recommend it to you. And finally, here we have one last box that contains 42 doses of laundry detergent that were made in Rouen. So this, for once, is very expensive, so it better be effective. Here I'm showing you the list of ingredients, as well as the different explanations on the back. Of course, you can pause the video if you're interested. Alright, here we go. I'm going to open this, knowing that they've provided two different opening modes. One is easy, and the other has a child safety feature. Well, personally, I don't have that risk, so I'm not going to bother with it. But it's good that they thought about it. So, will I manage to get something clean this time? On the first try, that's far from certain. Okay, so once again, we have a water-soluble packet with powder inside. Well, honestly, it's pretty good. I don't have anything special to mention, except that obviously you shouldn't carry this around in your car. If you get stopped by the police, it could look suspicious. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. I'm back with you a week later, after trying them myself and having my family test them, and the verdict is clear. It's very effective, especially for getting rid of bad odors, even the most stubborn ones. The only thing I could criticize is the scent, which was supposed to be very intense and very fresh. But when I took out my clothes, I didn't notice anything special. So, for those who like to have a very distinctive scent, I don't think this is the right product, or you need to add something extra. I also compared prices and found that La Marque en Moine is much cheaper than the Ariel pods I used before. So, there's no reason for me not to switch to these, and it's approved as far as I'm concerned. If I had to give an overall assessment of the La Marque en Moine's cleaning products, I would say it's a great discovery. The products are good, they're high quality, they're made in France, and their commitments are verifiable. So, for me, it's extremely positive. The only downside for me is that all of this works with a subscription system, which is really a shame, even though you can space out and postpone deliveries. I know perfectly well that I'll end up with more products than I actually need. I would have preferred if it were possible to order them directly, one by one, or even to buy them in supermarkets to avoid the delivery aspect. But, well, that's their business model. You can't have everything, and I guess it suits some people. There you go. It's finished now. If you haven't already, I invite you to check out my video on cleaning tips that I tested with Bruno. And as for me, I'll see you very soon for new adventures. Goodbye.